Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Now, yesterday I pulled out an old custom number format trick, and I wanted to talk about those custom number formats. If you go to Excel Help and look up create or delete a custom number format, it actually goes into all the detail here. I'm just going to run through a few of the fascinating possibilities in custom number formats. Now, basically, the first general rule is that if we have one custom number format, it applies to all numbers, but we can have zones. And so if, for example, we take a look at this custom number format, I have two zones. I say if it falls in the first zone, I want it blue with a dollar sign. If it falls in the second zone, I want it red with no dollar sign. And the way that this works, if you specify two zones, the positive numbers, so 5 and 0, get the first format, and the negative numbers get the second format. And you notice that for the negative numbers, if you really wanted the negative sign to show up, you would have to put the negative number in. Because I left it out, I forced this -2 to show up in red, but as a positive number. All right, now let's go on to the next example. If we have three zones, Control 1 to take a look at this. With three zones, what happens is the first zone applies to the positive numbers, but not to 0, and then to the negative numbers, and then to 0. So we can actually put 0 in a different color. Okay, now if we have four zones, the fourth zone is used for text. So here we have a situation where we're saying, okay, positive numbers show up in blue with a dollar sign, negative numbers show up in red, no dollar sign, no minus sign, green numbers, 0 should show up in green, and then any text would just show up as yellow as text. The @ sign is the abbreviation for text. Okay, so you wonder what colors are available. There's 8 colors, and of course, this predates conditional formatting. We could do all this with conditional formatting today. You'll see that we have black, cyan, magenta, blue, green, red, yellow. You can also specify something as white, great way to hide it. Although if we show it on a black background, you can see that the white shows up. Now, here's some interesting things. If you have zones separated by semicolons and you leave a format out, for example, let's say we didn't want to show any negative numbers. Here, I would put in a custom number format of 0 for the positive, and then leave the second zone blank. Nothing for a negative, and then a 0 to handle the 0 values. You'll see that all of the negative numbers disappear. Interesting. Or let's say we just want to hide everything. Well, put in zones and put nothing at all. So I just put 3 semicolons that says no matter what, positive, negative, 0 text, I don't want to show anything. Cool. Now here's an example where this would actually come in handy. We have positive, negative, and 0, and I went in and applied a custom number format that adds some text depending on what we have. So we'll look at this custom number format. I said if it's positive, we say your balance is 0. If it's negative, you have a credit balance of, and then the number. And if it's 0, it says your account is paid in full. And so you'll see, here, let me scroll up so we can see this at the same time. This cell F18 actually has a 5 in it. It has a 5, but it's being displayed as your balance is 5. If I would type 17 here, your balance is 17. If I would type a negative number, you have a credit balance of 100. Now, in yesterday's podcast, I talked about using conditions, and conditions add a whole new bit of flexibility. Over here, I have a simple calculation where I have the date that the payment was due, today's date, and then calculate the number of days that have elapsed. Well, rather than just report the number of days have elapsed, maybe I want to put some text in there to tell the people that their account is current, past due, or seriously past due. And so let's take a look at this custom number format. Again, these are the same numbers. It's the 20, the 35, the 55, and 72, but I'm completely displaying them in a different manner using a custom number format that says we have a condition. First condition in square brackets, if it's less than 31, your account is current. And notice I don't put any digits in there. I'm not showing the number at all. I don't have a 0 to show the digits. If it's less than 61, then your account is past due. And then finally, anything else, in other words, greater than 61, I'm going to say your account is seriously past due. So you can have some fun with custom number formats to actually change numbers into text without creating if functions or anything like that. Very interesting. It's obscure. I find that I hardly ever have a chance to use it. It wasn't until that question came up in the seminar and I couldn't figure out a good way to do it in the pivot table that I resorted to this to show those yes and no values from yesterday's podcast. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.